The Seattle Storm absolutely nailed the 2026 WNBA draft. Look, this year's draft wasn't like the last couple drafts with Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. There's not been a clear number one pick for months. But the three names I would generally hear were Azzi Fudd, Awa Fam, and Olivia Miles. And if I'm being honest, in my heart of hearts, in my dreams of dreams, if Azzi Fudd would have fallen to number 3, that would have been a fantastic scenario. But of course, she went number 1, so that wasn't a choice for us. Olivia Miles, I understand why she was always being mocked to the Storm, but I did not like her as much as others. And to be honest, I might have been a little disappointed if that was the pick for us. But Miles was picked number 2, so didn't have to worry about that. So we ended up with another player I'm still very excited about, Awa Fam Thiam. And to be honest with you, that was the first time I ever heard it said that way. I've always just heard it Awa Fam. But anyways, I'm really excited about this pick. It continues the youth movement for the Storm. Look, we had a couple of years where I was really excited about the veterans we brought in and how that could bring us into contention right away, but it just didn't work out. So it hurt a little to watch Nneka, Skylar, Gabby, Sykes, so on, all walk away from the team in free agency. But to be honest with you, that's what I wanted, because what is happening now is exactly what I want for the Storm now and going forward. Getting younger, getting faster, starting this youth movement, and building something for the future that's going to be around for a long time. Fam is an international player, so she is only 19 years old. Malonga was also an international player who is still just 20 years old. We cored Ezzy and gave her a big deal, and even though she is a well-seasoned vet, she is just 26 years old because she was also an international player. So the youth movement is real in Seattle. But back to that pick. Fam gives us another big two-way player. Think about it. Ezzy, Dominic, Awa. Now you got 3 bigs that can score inside, mid-range, and outside. All with athletic ability who can get out and run in the transition. All who can be defensive matchup nightmares. It's going to be fun watching this positionless front court that the Storm will be running with. So the idea of all that was very exciting. But I gotta be honest with you, I got a little worried there. Our next pick was Taina Mayer. And I'm not saying that was a bad pick. I admittedly was not that familiar with her, and I had to look up her game. And what I found, I like for this team. She is somebody who should be able to facilitate a fast transitioning offense like I would like to see with the rest of this core roster that we have. And should provide solid defense as well. And with the Storm signing Natisha Heidemann and bringing back Jade Melbourne to this roster, Mayer doesn't have to start right away. Has time to grow and develop. But like I said, I was a little disappointed. Because Gianna Kneepkens was still on the board. And like I said, I had this vision that was starting to form with the front court that they were building with this roster, that they could be this inside-out team, fast transitioning inside-out team, banging inside, dishing it to the outside to players who can hit the 3. Kneepkens would have fit right in that. But admittedly, she wouldn't fit in so much with the fast transitioning part of that. She's not the fastest player. So then, a couple picks later, with the first pick of the second round, the Storm selected Marta Suarez. Another big front court player, but one who could shoot that 3 consistently. So my thought was, okay, I guess this is where we get the 3-point shooting from, but weird that it's another front court player. And then, not very much later, my favorite thing in the draft happened. And let me just show you my thought process during this draft and how excited I was when this happened. I have been a very big fan of Flau'jae Johnson. Before the draft started earlier in the day, I was talking with a friend and talking about how I saw that it could be Azzi Fudd and Olivia Miles both go 1 and 2. Like I said, Awa Pham made a lot of sense for this team as well. But we got Malonga, and it was confirmed we're bringing back Ezzy as well. So, even with that 3rd overall pick, I still like Flau'jae too. And then we actually watch Azzi and Miles go 1 and 2. And Pham or Flau'jae is still what I wanted, and they went with Pham, which is fine. But I actually was disappointed that we weren't going to be getting Flau'jae. But then, like I said, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, we did. The commissioner comes out and announces that the Seattle Storm have traded Marta Suarez and a 2028 second-round pick to the Valkyries for the rights of Flau'jae Johnson. And that made this draft absolutely amazing, almost perfect to me. I mean, we ended up with 2 of the 3 players that I wanted the most at the number 3 pick. Like I said, my top targets in this draft were Azzi Fudd, Awa Pham, and Flau'jae Johnson. And again, we got 2 out of the 3 of them. I did not think that was going to be a possibility, but it was. Even my friend was like, I don't understand this trade for the other team. And you know what? I don't know either, and I don't care because I just love it for us, the Seattle Storm. And honestly, I think the Valkyrie, they don't really know either because even their GM has declined to answer questions about it after the draft. But yeah, you could see in this conversation that I was having with my friend earlier in the day as well that, I really wanted Flau'jae, especially just a little bit before the draft. She was talking about the exact style she wanted to play was the exact style I want to see out of the Storm with the roster that they're building. So yeah, she's going to come in here perfectly and fit right in with what I hope to see them do. She's going to be able to facilitate that fast transition offense. She's going to be able to hit 3s out of it, create her own shots, and facilitate the ball to her teammates inside to get those easy buckets and fast transition. Not to mention, she is a great defender as well. Oh, and by the way, a great entertainer. So we are just going to be absolutely entertained as Seattle Storm fans, not just on the court, but off the court by this absolute superstar. And then to round things out at the end, they also drafted Grace VanSlooten. Another big forward at 6'3" who can score mid-range, inside, and play good defense. And again, has plenty of time to develop on this roster. So yeah, this offseason, we saw a lot of big names leave. But I am honestly very excited for this youth movement and a new style of basketball being played for the Seattle Storm. I think this 2026 season is going to be an amazing, entertaining season to watch, so tune in. Let's go Storm.